Hello, hello, hello. It looks like the countdown was having some issues. Okay, so today, what we will be doing today, or what I will be doing today, is answering questions for those that have any questions on how to make treats. So you may not have, hold on one second. So you may have some questions on how to do something, and this is what this is for tonight. And in the meantime, I have some bows that I have to make for some candy apples. So you may post any comments, or you can come in live. You can call in if you need to share your screen so I can see what you are doing wrong. Hello, Janice. Hello, Laura. Oh, Laura said howdy from South Louisiana. Oh, that's a little far. I'm in North Carolina, so that's quite a distance. Is the weather, is it hot down there? So again, this is for any questions that you guys may have. I'm going to move this keyboard out the way. So if you guys have any questions, yeah, it's hot here. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to ask. If you're having any issues with any bows or anything like that, you can ask as well. And you can also call in tonight to share your screen so I can see what you guys are doing wrong. Right now, I just have some ribbon and some bling from Hobby Lobby. The candy apple theme is the Little Mermaid thing. Or, I mean, the party is the Little Mermaid theme. And I'm doing candy apples and some other treats. And these are the bows. Well, this is the ribbon I'm going to use for bows. The bling. And the gold twist ties. And I got all of this from Hobby Lobby. And that's pretty much my favorite place. Question. My apples are always sticky. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so Laura, you're down in Louisiana where it's like humid and hot. Have you tried are you using regular sugar? And are you using the regular corn syrup? Because there is a dry corn syrup that you can use to prevent that. Let me see if I can find the link. It's called High Sweet. And you can purchase this. It's Loran High Sweet Powdered Corn Syrup you can use. Let me see if I can post a link. Yeah, it looks like Amazon has it as well. Amazon has it for $18.59. And it looks like Walmart. Let's see. Walmart has it a little cheaper, it looks like. Walmart has it for $14.06. So, So you're using the high sweet. Laura, are you using the high sweet? Are you using the dry corn syrup? Oh, so that would probably, that's your problem. You need to use the dry, and you replace the dry corn syrup with the liquid form. So here's the link for Walmart. I'll post it here. Let me make sure this link works. Okay, it does. Okay. There's the link for the high sweet powdered corn syrup that you need. So instead of using the liquid form, you're welcome. So instead of using the liquid form, use the powder, the dry powdered form. And that should help a lot because that's supposed to help for outside in the heat. So if your candy apples are getting sticky, I suggest you do that, especially if you're outside. If you're doing the 311 candy apple recipe, use the sugar, 3 cups of sugar, 1 cup of the high sweet, and the 1 cup of water. So you're just replacing the dry corn syrup with the liquid. So you don't use the liquid form. Use the high sweet, and that should help. Another thing that I do, and I do it all the time, I make sure my house is at 65 degrees. Once I'm done, hold on, let me get this keyboard somewhere. Okay, so once I'm done dipping my apples, I bag my apples right away. You're welcome. I bag my apples right away. I leave the bags open until it's time for them to be delivered. So then I'll go ahead and put my twist ties, ribbons, or whatever. If you don't have air conditioning in your home, if you cannot keep your house cool, the last resort I would do, the last solution, absolutely, if your house is just totally hot and there's no way you can cool your house down, I would go ahead and place them in the refrigerator, but let the refrigerator be your last source because you just need to. That's only if your house is so hot and you do not have air conditioning, or say your air condition goes out. I would just put them in the refrigerator. Well, once you're done dipping your apples, and this is what I do, once I'm done dipping every last apple, I'll go ahead and place it in the bag. Because if you leave those apples out on the counter, then depending on how cool your house is, if your house is not cool, yes, those apples are going to get sticky, and then it's going to be hard to bag those apples. But if your apples get sticky, you can put sanding sugar over your apples. And a trick that I do when my let me go grab some candy apple bags. Hold on. Let me show you what I do. So if okay, say you don't have air conditioning. Say you don't have air conditioning and your apples got sticky and you were trying to bag your apples, but you can't bag them because they're so sticky. So when it gets like that, I would put sanding sugar on it. But if you don't want to put sanding sugar on it, you need to take your bag, turn it inside out, just like that. Put your apple down in the bag. Then bring the bag up around the apple and go ahead and seal your apple. With a twist tie. That's if you're having issues getting the apple in the bag. But you want to try to prevent your apples from getting sticky in the first place. But I know if your apples are getting sticky and you're trying to bag them, I know they're getting stuck to the bag and you can't get them down in the bag. So you have to turn the bag inside out, throw the apple down in there, and just pull the bag over the apple. Yeah, it can be a mess. It can be a sticky mess if your apples get sticky. And that was one of the things that I had to learn when I first started making apples. I didn't have, usually I keep my house cool anyways, but this was in the summer, 2 years ago, like in June, July, I started making treats. And I didn't have the air conditioner on. I was making the candy apples in the kitchen. So you have the heat from the stove, and I was right by the stove. And I couldn't understand why my apples were getting sticky. So if you're right by the stove, yeah, your apples are going to get sticky because all that heat from the stove and all that heat from the candy boiling. So I usually get like some type of placement mat, put on the counter away from the stove. And then I already have my apples over there. And then I take my pot of candy and place it on that placement mat. And I dip my apples on the other side of the kitchen. Because when I first started making apples, I did have that issue one time where I was trying to dip apples right beside the stove. And I didn't know why my candy apples had gotten so sticky. So what I did was I had to pour sanding sugar on all of them. And sanding sugar usually saves you when your candy apples get sticky. And I had to do it like that and place them in the bag. And I was just happy to get those out of the house. But one of the things that I did notice is my air condition wasn't on. So I usually, especially when I'm doing apples, I make sure my house is really, really cool. But yes, it can be a hot mess. No, you didn't miss a lot. This is just question and answers for people to come on if they have any questions. I'm just here answering questions. So how cold do you need to have your kitchen? Aisha asked. I just like I said, I try to have the hottest 70. But usually my house when I'm doing candy apples, I try to have it like at 65 degrees. The hottest 70. Just make sure, Aisha, you're not by the stove where you just boiled your candy, where you just made your candy. Try to go to the other side of the kitchen and dip your apples. But um, Laura lives in South Louisiana where it's really humid and hot, and she has an issue with her apples getting really sticky. So instead of using the liquid corn syrup, I posted the link to the high sweet powdered corn syrup. So instead of using the liquid corn syrup, you use the powdered corn syrup when you're like outside in the heat and you're just in a state like Louisiana, South Louisiana, where it's just so humid and hot, and you're doing everything possibly that you can. So I told her to try um, Loran's high sweet powdered corn syrup. So you just replace that with the regular corn syrup. So if you Laura uses the 3-1-1, so she does 3 cups of sugar, 1 cup of the dry high sweet powdered corn syrup, and 1 cup of water. So you're just replacing the dry corn syrup with the liquid. Um, it may be. The only time I had issue with my apples being sticky is when I first started making treats 2 years ago. I don't have any issues with my candy apples being sticky. Um, a lot of other people use the 24 apples in one batch, and they haven't stated anything about their apples being sticky. They have like praised me that it was like a saver for them. You're in Virginia. Virginia can get hot too. How cool do you get your house? Aisha, how cold is your house? A good 60, between 65 and 69 is ideal. I'm wondering how cold is your house or how warm is your house, Aisha? So, guys, I'm just getting ready to do some ribbon I got from Hobby Lobby. Um, it's a little mermaid thing, and this comes from Hobby Lobby at my local store. So it was probably 50% off. I didn't pay $3.99 for this. Yeah, 71 degrees. Usually try to get it. It's a big difference. 1 degree, 2 degrees. Try to have it at least 69 degrees. because I still think 70 may, I mean, it's doable because my house has been 70 degrees and I've still dipped apples, but I usually try to get it between 65 and 68. Um, did you let your apples just sit out or did you bag them after you got finished dipping your apples, Aisha? See, that's what Laura was doing too. After you dip all of your apples, go ahead and bag them. Go ahead and bag them. You can leave the bag open, but go ahead and bag them. Even if you're putting them in boxes, go ahead and put them in the box and close them. Well, as far as the boxes, the clear boxes, just go ahead and box them. What I usually do is I bag. This is what I do. After I bag my apples, and I'm going to have to do a tutorial on 70 degrees versus 65 degrees. 7 degrees, I mean 70 degrees or 73 degrees, something like that. I'm going to have to do something to show you guys the difference. But what I do, and I never have an issue, I dip, after I dip, say I have 12 apples or I have 24 apples. After I dip those 12 apples or 24 apples, I go ahead and bag mine. After each one is bagged, I go ahead and put my bows twist ties on. But I still also make sure my house is cool until it's time for the person to pick up or it's time for me to deliver the apples. You're in Virginia, so it shouldn't, your apples shouldn't even be getting, well, I wouldn't say that because I know Virginia can get hot too. I'm in North Carolina. I don't have issues with my candy apples being sticky because I always make sure my house is between 65, 69 degrees, 65, 69 degrees. I'm saying 70 may be okay, but I always try to make sure my house is 65 to 69 degrees when I'm doing candy apples. Oh, today 95 degrees. Well, yeah, your apples are going to get sticky if you don't have that air condition on. You must, it didn't even get that hot here, and I'm in North Carolina. So when it's hot like that, you must, there's no way. You must have your air condition on. And if you're outside, if those candy apples are going to be outside, make sure you use the high sweet. Use the high sweet. Yeah, that's hot. Use the high sweet instead of the corn syrup. And here's the link to the high sweet. It was cheaper at Walmart than Amazon. Here's the link. Aisha, I just posted the link to the high sweet powdered corn syrup. Yeah, that's pretty hot. I cut this too long. You're more than welcome. Yeah, try the see you guys, my bow, that's gonna be too short. First it was too long. Now it's too short. Yeah, try the high sweet. Yeah, because you're being 90, what did she say? 98 or 95? Yeah, being 95 degrees, that's hot. I'm not getting my ribbon long enough. And it's too short. So I mean, I have issues sometimes too, y'all. So as you see, I'm fooling with this. I'm just making a simple bowl so I have to pinch in the middle. Oh, you just ordered the high sweet. Yeah, that's gonna be much. That's gonna be much better. Yeah, that's gonna be much better. How do you go about pricing bows and fondant decorations for your candy apples? Good evening, Nicole. So, how you go about pricing your bows? Okay. Okay, say this is okay. You're going to make sure you get all your money back plus a profit. So, this is $3.99 and your ties say we're going to say $2.99. I can't recall right off. So $3.99 and $2.99. So that's going to be $6. No, that's going to be $7. So yeah, it's going to be $7. So say you spend $7 on this to make your bows. For your bows, you this takes time. This takes time. So say you spend $7 on product. You want to at least a minimum, and I wouldn't even charge 14. You want to at least double what you spent on your product at the minimum. But for a dozen of bows, not these, because well, these take time too because you gotta get the length right. You gotta do all kind of stuff. I don't even think I have my length right, so I may have to. I'm just trying to work with it right now. Um, say you spend $7 on products, you need to at least be charging 14 a minimum, but you need to charge. I can't tell anyone how to run their business or how to, you know, what they should be charging. But charge, it's your business. Make sure you charge, you get your money back for your product, say $7. You want to make sure you're going to charge a minimum of 14 to make a profit. But also put your time in there. Charge for your time. Are you going to charge $5 an hour for your time, $10 an hour for your time, or $15 an hour for your time? I think $15 an hour for your time is reasonable, plus the 7. So how much are you working for an hour? Are you going to pay yourself $20 an hour? I think $15 an hour is reasonable. Because actually, to tell you the truth, I charge for this. I would charge, me personally, I charge $25 a dozen, and that's what I charge. And the other ones where you have to do all the crisscrossing and all that, I may have to go up on those. I try not to sell them. I try to refer people to other people. I try to let people know let me be your last option, because I'm a little pricey. Because I do charge for my time. I do. So a minimum, again, you guys better not be charging under $14. That's all I have to say. You charge how you want to charge, but in order to make a profit, if you're going to spend $7 on product, how are you charging $10 per dozen? Or how are you charging $7 per dozen when you paid $7 on product? You're not making any profit. Your fondant decorations, Duana, and I'm going to get to the other questions too. As far as the fondant, you do the same thing. Like for candy apples, okay? For candy apples, my plane, y'all gonna make me bring out the calculator here. So my plane, I charge plain. And when I say plain, I'm talking about no bling, no nothing, just a wooden stick in one color. That's $5 per apple. And if you're going to add the decorations and the fondant and the bows and all that, a minimum $8 per apple. So my decorated apples start at $96 a dozen because it's $8 per apple. But if they're talking about, and that's what, the bling sticks and, or the fondant pieces. And things are getting pricey too. So I may have to go up $1 on the plain. I may have to go up $1 on the decorated. But right now, for a long time, for about a year, that's what I would do. And that's what I would charge. Decorated, $8 per apple, plain $5 per apple. So you should be making $60. And everybody should be making $60 for a dozen of candy apples. You guys better be charging, because you got to get your wooden stick, your sugar or your high sweet, your corn syrup. So $5 per apple for plain, which is $60 a dozen. And if you're going to get customers say, "Oh, that's too high. Oh, that's too high for some apples." Well, stick with your prices, whatever you charge, and tell them, "Well, I'm sorry, but thank you so much for wanting to do business with me." But they're going to see if you're doing a good job, they're going to order anyways, or they're going to call back anyways. And 12 apples, $8 a piece, is $96 a dozen. And that sounds like a lot, but it's not, because about time you buy all the products, shoot, you don't spend about $30 or $40 on, the bows, the ribbons, the ribbons, the bling, the sticks, the apples, the sugar, the corn syrup. How sweet is a Nicole? How sweet is a pat? Like if you're having an event outside, I'm gonna post that link. It's a link down below. High sweet powdered corn syrup is a corn syrup you substitute for the liquid. Like if it's hot and humid, and to prevent your candy apples from getting sticky, you use the high sweet instead of the regular corn syrup. You use the dried corn syrup. Okay, Laura wants me to do the bow again. I will. I have 11 more I got to do. I watched your videos today. Do you mainly use the 6:1 or 6:3 ratio? Aisha. So when I have 7 or 8 candy apples, I use the 3:1 or the 4:1 recipe. The only reason why I did that video, 24 apples in one batch, that you're referring to, is because when I first started making candy apples, if I had 2 or 3 dozens of candy apples to do you not know I had 2 or 3 pots on the stove at the same time? I said, "Oh, this couldn't be life." So I would try to reach out like, "Hey, how can I make 24 apples without having 2 and 3 pots or 2 pots on the stove?" And I was told all the time, just double the recipe. Well, if I'm using the 4:1 recipe, that's 8 cups of sugar. That just seemed like way too much sugar. It just seemed like too much sugar for me. So it seemed like too much sugar. So I used 6 cups of sugar. I got the plan around in the kitchen. And other people may probably use the same thing when they're trying to make over 12 candy apples. So when I'm making over 12 candy apples, 12 to 24 candy apples, I do 6 cups of sugar, 4 cups of water, and 1 cup of corn syrup. And the customers really like it. And the people that has tried that and reached out back to me to let me know how it came out, they say their customers love it. Because one, that candy is not thick, like it's going to break your teeth. And my secret, well, I told you pretty much in that 6:1 recipe. My secret is I add extra water. Yes, it's going to cook longer. I add a cup of extra water anyways to my 3:1 and 4:1 recipe. Because guess what? That candy is not so thick. It's not thick. The candy is hard. Of course, the candy is hard, but it's not too thick. Hello, Rose. So people can actually bite into the apple with no issues, or, not having to cut the apple off the stick, because that candy can be thick. So that's what I usually do. And yes, it may take about 5 minutes longer, but there was a young lady that did 28 candy apples in one batch. And she said she did it for her job. Her name was Laura. Is this no, this is not the same Laura. Um, because this Laura is in North Carolina and this one is in Louisiana. So she did it for her job, and her supervisor, she said how her supervisor, her coworkers loved it, that they could actually bite into the apple. So that's just my little thing that I do. And, as I learned, that's what I do. I just add an extra cup of water, anyways. And I've been doing that. Okay, Aisha. So let me know when you get that hot sweet. I wish you guys would stop being shy and come up here and call in. So when you're making something, I can actually see what you're doing. Rose said, yes, me too. I learned that from you. I had more water and I love the way they come out. Exactly, Rose. They're not thick. That candy is not thick. You add an extra cup of water, that candy apple is not going to be so thick. Who wants a thick candy apple? You're afraid you're going to break your teeth or something. Can you put candy apples in the refrigerator? Like I said, let the refrigerator be your last source. If your house is hot and you don't have air conditioning, or your air condition broke for some reason, then yes, go ahead and put them in the refrigerator. I know a lot of people like their candy apples cold, anyways, but you don't want all that condensation either. So if you have to put them in there, yes, go ahead and do that. Nicole, it seems like the only place, excuse me, guys. It seems like the only place right now, as far as like local, like in Hobby Lobby or Michael's, it looks like you have to order it online. So the cheapest right now is, I'm putting a link right there. Look up under your comment. So the cheapest right now is at Walmart. So I put that under your comment where you can purchase it from. I put the link down below where you can get the high sweet. Let me make sure. Okay, Laura, I'm going to do the bow again. Let me just make sure I'm answering. Oh, Laura says she's cheating herself. Um, you're welcome, Nicole. Laura, how do you feel like you're cheating yourself? You've been underpricing? Guys, let me go get some water. If you've been underpricing, how much are you charging? £5? Yes, it's $25 for £5. What are you talking about, Aisha? So y'all might as well just come on and call in so y'all can be up here. If you don't want to show your face, that's fine. $25 for £5. What are you talking about, Aisha? Hey, my daughter don't drink up all the water. I gotta drink this nasty stuff. Some sparkling water. Oh, 25 for £5. Yeah. That's why you gotta charge. That's what I was just talking about as far as the price on your treats. You better make sure you charging getting your money back for what you paid for, and just double it, and let that be the minimum, and then make sure you but of course you're not going to use 5 pounds on 12 apples. But you need to go up probably a dollar or two. Laura said the 641 method is perfect. Yeah, I think Aisha's house was just too hot because she said it was like 95 or 98 degrees. And that's why her candy apples had got sticky. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anybody's question. Okay, I answered Nicole's. Rose said, every time I see you live, I stop what I'm doing. I turned off my stove and run. Girl, you better not be burning nothing up. And she gets her glasses and get comfortable. Well, thank you so much. But you better make sure you're not burning nothing up. I'm gonna be on here until I've answered everybody's questions, and I'm gonna, do these bows too. Okay, Nicole. So it helps. You embarrassed to say, no, this is what I want to do. I'm all for women empowerment and everything. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. We all learn. Girl, do you not know when I first started making candy apples, I was charging $3 per candy apple? $2 and $3 per candy apple for plain. I was really giving those apples away for free. So when you are a new treat maker and you don't know how to price your stuff or not sure and you don't have anyone to really ask, yeah, we are going to you are going to underprice your stuff. Yeah, believe it or not, when I first started doing candy apples 2 years ago, I was charging $2 and $3 per apple. Is that what you're charging, Laura? Okay, so Laura has been charging $2 per apple. Yeah, and then you're wondering. So there are so many people in my little area making them. So, okay, so you have competition. So what? Let's say this. If your candy apples are good and you know they're good, and I would I wouldn't say I'm in a small city. There are a lot of customers that's going to buy your candy apples. Try to go up. What I did was when I first started making candy apples, I was selling them at $2 and $3. And I was like, man, I'm not making a profit. I'm only making 24. Say you doing like you're doing $2 per apple. I'm only making $24. So it's like, okay, I spent about this much on the product. And if I had a profit, it was just a little profit. I mean, this is not a get rich quick thing. It's more of a hustle and to make extra money. But I was cheating myself too. So, Laura, I want you to try to go up a dollar or two. Just gradually go up. Because guys, when I first started making candy apples, that's what I was doing. Just like Laura, I was like, now I'm not making a profit. But when I first started making candy apples, I wasn't making them picture perfect either. I had all the extra candy on the bottom of the apple. So I had to learn how to scrape the bottom of the apple really good and then have that picture perfect apple. And then that's when I went up to $5 an apple. So make sure you scrape all that extra candy on the bottom. Let's see. Aisha has a comment. Yeah, because if you know you can do it, keep practicing and get better. And boom, you're just as good as the next. Laura's telling you thank you. Um, See, it was a lot of negativity when I was doing treats, especially even in my city. Like, oh, she too high. Oh, who's gonna buy all that? So guess what? Sometimes your clients are not your friends or your family. Sometimes your clients are totally strangers, professional people on different levels. So when you're marketing, make sure you're marketing to everyone because my clientele is people I don't even know. I never have met. Yes, I want this to be uplifting. Like I said, I'm for women empowerment. You know, we all have probably been through something, and you never know what someone is going through. All that negativity, you can throw that out the window. You can miss me with that. Just brush it off your shoulder and just keep pushing forward. You know you can do it. You just need a little more practice. You know you can do it. You guys, you girls, you women, you know you can do it. And I know you can do it because I get all these messages in my inbox in Instagram telling me, oh, thank you so much. You know, especially about the bows, how I take the time and try to explain it the best that I can. Even with the candy apples, I know that can be a tough subject. I know that can be tough. So I'm blending colors now with the gel food coloring to show you that you can make other colors. You know how many colors you can get from one color. So yeah, just give it a while. My weakness as far as treats right now is the royal icing. So I am challenging myself by the end of this month. Those sugar cookies, now I don't have a problem with making the sugar cookies. I don't have a problem with none of that. It's the royal icing, the consistency. I said I was going to practice today. I make them good enough, but I want them perfect. I want them perfect, perfect. And when I say perfect, I want them perfect. So with that royal icing, that can be a trip because if you got too much um, liquid in it, it's going to be runny, or you can have it too thick. That royal icing is a trip. But yeah, I just want you all to stay positive and just, keep practicing. Do what you do. Don't let anybody that negative stuff, I don't even let it, I guess, I don't even let it bother me, but I see how it can bother someone. And I know someone that's really, really good with making treats, and she had someone said something negative to her, and it bothered her for a couple of weeks. And I'm like, you the bomb, so I wouldn't even let that negative stuff even rub off, or I wouldn't even think on it. Yeah, just shake it off. So basically, with this kind of ribbon, you just make your loop. I got a video, several videos on how to make these. You just make your loop and you bring this to the middle and you just pinch it. I think Laura's asking to do that. Wait a minute. Let me get my tie. You just make sure you pinch it good in the middle. Just worry about this part first. You take your tie and you twist your tie in the back. And then you just, straighten out your bow, fluff it, however you're going to fluff it. I'm going to add some bling on the tails. So that's the bow part. I think this is cute for the little mermaid thing. Yes, Rose said, yes, ladies, you can do it. You sure can. And as you see in my YouTube, on my channel, you guys have questions, what do? I try to answer every last question you have. I don't care how many questions you got. It's somebody, she'll ask me questions on every video, and I try to respond back to her. So if you have a question, you just reach out and ask. So I'm just pushing that part over to make sure it's in the middle. I be trying to have my daughter to help me do this stuff. I don't know how many of you have grown kids, but she's in college, but they go back on campus here soon. Next month, I believe. I'll be trying to tell her to help me with some bows. That's like talking to the wall. Yeah, you guys can do it. You sure can. I'm thinking about doing the I don't know how I'm gonna do these tails. I want to add some bling. So I'm cutting up. And then I'm gonna cut down. So what other questions y'all got? What you laughing at, Nicole? You over there laughing at me. I'm trying to be a little different with my bows. You guys just be creative. Y'all got this. What's funny, Nicole? She over there laughing at something I did. So I'm gonna have a strip of bling at the tip. Oh, I'm grown, man. I'm gonna tell you something about her. Her daddy had to take her car. Now I'm married, but not to her father. But her biological father had to take her car. I mean, she don't want to work in the pie factory, and then be trying to talk junk on top of it. So he had to come and take her car. So she can't drive it unless she has like a job interview. He told her he wasn't going to bring it back until she got a job interview to go on a job interview and actually get a job to go back and forth. Because she would be riding around with her little friends. And when she go back to school, guess who got to pay for all that stuff? Me and her dad. And he has to pay for the majority. But she was riding her little friends. She was riding all her friends. I don't know if you guys got the COVID shot, but we had to get the COVID shot because we would get on her about she was still out and about with her friends, and I was so nervous. I was so nervous, but we all got vaccinated. I don't know. I'm thinking about adding bling. Let me see what this is gonna look like. Yeah, them grown children. I'm gonna put this glue on the ribbon. I should put it on the bling, but I don't want to get that glue on my hands. Okay, I'll put it back up on the camera. See, this is what I'm doing to the tail. Trying to put a little bling on it. I think that might be cute. What y'all think? See, stuff like this takes time. Let me get that. So this is what I got from Hobby Lobby. I hope the camera adjusts. The Ribbon Boutique. 2 inches by 3 yards. I'm trying to. And this is what it looked like on the back side. And this is the front. So this is going to be like the little mermaid thing. So I'm thinking about, I was going to do different colored candy apples, but that's going to take too much time. But I'll probably do make the candy apple this color. and use the little mermaid silicone mold and do the tail and place it on the apple. But I'm going to go ahead and bling these as well. So what other questions y'all got? What about the Oreos and the strawberries? Or is it all about candy apples? Candy apples, I love making candy apples. Okay, Laura. I'll see you next time. You love doing strawberries and cherries. I've never done cherries. Do you dip them in chocolate or you make them the candy cherries? Now I don't think I'll be able to dip any cherries because I love cherries. Honey, them cherries will be gone about time I try to dip some cherries. Honey, I love some cherries. Anything with berries, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, honey, I love those. I love all fruit with berry, with the berry at the end. So I know I can't make no cherries for nobody. Those will be gone before I can even dip them. Especially if they firm and sweet. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Well, that's just like in this house. Well, when I first started making treats, I would be eating up the treats I would be eating up the treats and then I would have to make some more. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I'd be eating up everybody's treats. And then my daughter, everybody in the house started eating up stuff. So it's hard making treats, especially strawberries. Anything strawberry, I love. Do any of you do that? Eat up the treats and then have to make some more? I think this is going to be cute. I wanted to try it with the bling. You love dipping apples in chocolate? Yeah, I love dipping. I like making the apple slices, dipping it in chocolate and drizzle it with caramel. So this is what the bow looks like. Wait a minute, I didn't have enough glue. I don't know about doing this, or either I didn't have enough glue on it. That's what I need to try too. I'm going to log off. It is thundering outside. Oh, stay safe. You have a good night. What you need to do, Nicole? Nicole, you got me over here laughing. Those old grown kids. Only thing about hot glue is it gets everywhere. I actually like this. No, you can't tell them nothing. I know my daughter, she hard headed. Oh, she hard headed. She just like her daddy. Whew, she too hard headed. You could tell her something, but she won't listen. I mean, she actually got to see something happen in order to listen. It's like, God Almighty. I mean, she is just like her daddy, and he know it. That's her twin, and she's spoiled. Yeah, I like that. That's gonna be cute on some little candy apples. Yeah, they hard headed, Nicole. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna do. Okay, well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm gonna end the live now. Unless you guys just want to sit here and watch me, watch me do these bows. I mean, so do you guys have any questions about getting products, where you get your products from, or where you get this from, or where you get that from? If you guys don't have any other questions, then I'm going to end the live. My big old arms. Okay, good night. Good night. Good night, everyone. I enjoyed the live. Maybe I can do this again. So, you guys have a good night. Bye. Stay safe.